Still he is quite a dangerous opponent. Okay, he has only 11th rating in this tournament, but very tough player to beat. And okay, let's see how one of the leaders will try to do so. And
Sicilian,
yes,
and it will be neither for...
I think neither, definitely.
Right, neither with bishop e3 and knight g4 or e5. It's... we have some repetitions,
No,
but
no.
it forces probably Grischuk to play... Oh, bishop g5.
No. Okay,
right.
okay. Ernesto just checked him, and well, it's...
So it's quite topical game.
Yes,
with
it's a big theory, and actually this queen d2 is one of the last fashions. Not so clear what to do with black in this line. I think the last recipe was probably b5. I don't know it. Maybe Alexander Grischuk also forgot this. Okay.
Knight e5 is one of the moves.
Yeah, this also it leads to transposition in some cases. Actually,
And we're waiting for a move from Ernesto.
I think f3 was something. The idea of this queen d2 is to undermine this weakened king side as soon as possible with h4.
And making sure that there is no h5, because the g5 pawn will be hanging.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, knight d5. Well, not so sure, but still, I must admit that. Okay. Years take its toll. So I just was analyzing this line not so long ago, but don't remember absolutely anything about it. Well, the only thing I remember that knight d5 was not the main idea for white, because I think that
c3, I don't like c3.
No, it's more or less. I think it's more or less forced afterwards, because then this b2 pawn was always hanging. b5 actually created the threat knight c4. So after knight d5, I don't like knight d5, but after knight d5, b5, probably c3 was more or less forced. Okay, still there is some idea in white setup, although don't think it can be somehow dangerous for black. Okay, still maybe knight c4 is still possible. What will white do after knight c4?
Yeah, knight c4, bishop c4, bc4 doesn't seem to me so great, but maybe white should go for it, because otherwise I have to take my queen on c2 probably.
Yes, no, not a dream square. Okay, Alexander is preparing this. Okay, he already gave 1 minute handicap, but as we had already seen against Boris Gelfand, it did not disturb him. Grischuk is kind of player who plays very well with the last seconds remaining on his clock. He just need this adrenaline.
And he played so far brilliant games, very convincingly. He is one of these leaders. f3, and what about knight c4 right now?
Yeah, I think that's the way to play, actually. That's the way to play, because now after f3, knight c4, queen c2, then e6, white just doesn't have square for his knight. Because another move to play is maybe e6, but then just knight goes to
e3.
But let's look.
Let's
Another
wait
story
for
is probably
decision, and knight c4 is on the board. Bishop c4, bc4, it's really looking less attractive right now, because our rook is already on b5, keeping an eye on b2. But there are not so many options. Queen c2 or bishop c4 or queen f2.
Yeah.
Bishop c4, bc4, and knight d4. Knight d4, c d4. This pawn on d4
But this pawn on d4 now, now after f3, it's not so weak anymore.
Weak, right.
Because it can be protected with bishop from f2 at any moment.
Bishop e6, maybe knight c3.
Knight
back.
c3, yes, knight c3, aiming for d5.
And queen b6, maybe this is the idea, knight c3 and queen b6 to attack b2
Oh yeah,
pawn
double
and
attack,
d4
double
pawn.
attack, yeah, double attack. Yeah, and d5 is met with bishop, with queen b2.
Yeah, with queen b2 and the c3, knight is...
Yeah, this is
Will be in trouble.
nice tactical sequence. Well,
Knight e3 is another move, but
still queen b6.
b6. So it doesn't change a lot.
but maybe, or not. Knight e3, queen b6,
And
d5,
d5.
d5 now.
d5, queen b2 steal, queen b2, rook, bishop b2.
But
But this is...
but,
a bit-
but then rook b1, and then I think white is doing fine.
Rook b1, bishop c3, check.
King e2,
King e2, and if I take, then I have to move my bishop, and white will have a lot of activity on
and yes,
b
yeah,
file.
yes. I think it's very good for white in this line. And probably it's more or less what Ernesto has to do now. It's white who has definitely less time on the clock remaining.
Knight e3, queen b6.
What
We
is he
predict
playing?
it quite well.
What he is playing against d5? Maybe he plans to take on b2 with his bishop,
With bishop and maybe c3 is...
but bishop
afterwards
b2,
a
bishop
move.
b2, knight c4. It's is not exactly what I would
right.
like.
d5, it's a little bit...
Yeah, it's quite strange. Quite
Tricky.
strange. What?
Because now the c4 pawn is hanging. This is actually our big problem.
Yeah, this is a real problem. This is a real problem for white.
So we have to sacrifice this bishop on e6, do you think so? With queen b2 or bishop b2, but knight c4 then. Yeah, queen b2 and queen b2 and bishop b2, but rook
very
b1.
interesting. Very interesting
It is
because
very interesting. Knight c4, I think that black slipped misplayed a bit.
yes. Maybe even more seriously. Okay, but still okay. Knight c4,
Knight c4,
bishop c3 check.
king e2, but king e2 maybe runs into bishop b5. Oh, no,
Bishop b5, then king,
King
d3,
d3.
nothing special.
right.
Yes, he castled. Okay, now he. Well, maybe.
Still pleasant for black. Two bishops, open file.
Yes. Maybe we just stopped calculating this line too early. Maybe this bishop's pair is a real factor in this position.
Black would like to play rook c8 and bishop b5, let's say, or first bishop g7 and
Yes,
I
bishop.
don't like white's position.
Bishop b5 is very unpleasant threat because okay, white just cannot survive this pin. Okay, so it's more or less forced.
King d2 just escaping from bishop b5, unpleasant move. Maybe knight a5 and to try to play on c file and c6 square can be idea for white. f5 seems very nice. To
Opening the position
underline that we
as
have
much
also kingside.
as it can be possible. Yes, to open the diagonals for the bishop's pair. Although
F takes e4 seems to be natural after f5, and then maybe rook c8. Oh no.
no, he
H5.
tries to open the diagonals. That's his main aim here.
This is very nice because we know that bishops are great on diagonals and very nice in open positions. So black tries to open up as much as possible.
But Ernesto has found very nice resource because okay, when his knight goes to b6, then it will be quite a strong piece. Okay, Alexander is resourceful.
Bishop e8, bishop g6 is probably the idea to attack the e4 pawn. Right now, rook f8 and bishop e3 to control f4 square.
But I like white's position
Yeah,
after all.
white got more active than we expected. Now knight c4, knight a5, knight c6 might be white's idea. A little bit repetition. I think
But I
black
think,
would like
yes,
to
yes.
draw. Yeah, and